Welcome to the NFL Week 16, guys. I hope it's light enough in here. It's dark. I got my lights on in my car. But I'm going to do the video right now. Quick video because it's the Christmas holidays. Quick recap from Week 15. I went a perfect 3-0 on my picks. Patreon was 3-1. I had the Giants plus the points, but I didn't officially bet it. But I will count that towards my record because I put it up on the Patreon for you guys. But I had the over in the last Thursday game, which cashed easily. I had the Browns, which was a nice little sweat in the last play of the game, and I had Buffalo against Dallas, which was an easy cover as well. So I've been hot the last few weeks, 35-23 on the season, guys. It's a good season. So now we head into the holiday season. So my gift to you is, I'm not going through all the games. I'm just going to give you my 3 picks, my official plays for free for you guys for this 1 week. One, it's the Christmas holidays. I'll give it back to you guys. And 2, I don't have time to go through all the games this week. It's too busy. Let's just get this done now. So for the first one, Thursday Night Football. And I hate, if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, I hate Thursday Night Football games. And I hate totals. I typically don't bet totals. Like 95% of my plays are sides. Last Thursday, I had a total. And it cashed easily. So maybe I'm feeling a bit greedy. But, I have a reason to bet the total tonight. Rams, Saints, total 45.5. I took the over last week. I like the under this week. Pretty simple. Both teams essentially must-win games. Certainly the Rams. Saints, kind of in a must-win, but they have 2 ways in the playoffs. They can get a wild card, but they can also win their really crappy NFC South division. Rams have to win tonight. Saints, more or less, have to win tonight. It's a big game. It's essentially a playoff game, which means I think it's going to be tightly contested. Teams playing a little bit more conservatively. I know sharp money has come in on the first half over of 23. I think full game, this game goes under. I hate totals. I don't have a good track record, so be cautious here. But I just think this game is a tight game. The Rams have been playing to unders for most of the season, I feel, but I know the Rams also have gotten healthy. They've won 4 of their last 5 since their bye week. Their only loss was that shootout in that overtime loss against Baltimore. Otherwise, the Rams have been fantastic. But the Rams have been doing part of the reason why, a big part of the reason why they've been hot lately and winning 4 of the last 5 is they've been running the ball. And the Saints struggle against the run. So I think also that the Rams are going to run the ball a lot tonight. They're going to keep the clock running. And yeah, I think that and the fact that the team should play more of a tightly contested game, I think the game will go under. I hate totals. I hate it. And it's infuriating if you guys bet totals when you have the under and the teams are going up and down the field. My boy Anthony, shout out to him. He's in Barcelona for his honeymoon. He was on a college game a few weeks ago, had the under, and it's just a shootout, and it's so frustrating. And then the other side is when you have an over and a team can't fucking move the ball. So totals are annoying, right? Because it's like, at least with a side, you have a full game to kind of, anything can happen, but a total can go quickly. It can screw you quickly, or it's just like watching a slow bleed and you're going to lose. It's a side you're kind of always more or less live unless it's a blowout. My other 2 picks here, these are sides. Dallas and Miami. I always gravitate towards the big games. But you know what? I've been good on the big games. Because, I find when I'm betting games, there's certain teams I don't bet. I'm either going to, and there's certain teams I either bet on or bet against because I have a good feel for them. And, teams like, I don't know, like, who's a team? Like Arizona, Miami. There's some other teams that like the Raiders or the Chargers. I don't usually bet sides for those teams because I don't really have a good feel for them. I don't really watch them a whole lot. And some teams I'm really on a lot. And so for this game, Dallas and Miami, I have been on Dallas games a lot. I've been on them where they've won. Had them against New England way back early in the season. I had them against Philadelphia a couple weeks ago where they cashed easily. I was who they played last week? Dallas. Buffalo, I was against them last week, and we cashed that one with the Bills. So I've been on them, against them, but I have a good feel for certain teams. This game is Miami minus 1.5. It's essentially a pick 'em, and I like the Cowboys at plus 1.5, but I took Dallas on the money line. The old saying, you're never as bad as your worst game. You're never as good as your best game. And the Dallas looked at an all-time low last week. This is a really good buy low spot. Miami looked really, really good. They're fat and sassy, but they won 30-0 against the Jets. Dallas was embarrassed. And I know Dallas hasn't played well on the road, but here's the thing. Dallas has been really good very profitable in bounce back spots. When they lose and they don't cover spreads, they're like 10-1 the following week, ATS. When they give up over, this is like over the last few years, when they give up over 30, they come back the next week, they're like 7-1, something like that. So they do very well bouncing back. Miami, on the other hand, kind of a phony team to me. When they've been favored by 7 or more, they're cashing. Dallas and Miami are kind of similar, right? They beat up on bad teams, they struggle against good teams, and they can win by margin. Miami, when they're favored by 7 or more, they're cashing. They're money makers. That's why I keep saying with Miami games, when they're -11, -12, like last week against the Jets, if I'm playing, I'm laying. But when they're 7 or less or an underdog, they've struggled. They're 0-3. They lost straight up in ATS against Kansas City this season, straight up in ATS against Buffalo this season. Remember, Miami also got blown out against Buffalo, not just Dallas. And Miami also lost another big one. I forget. Go back to their schedule. They lost another 0-3, I think, this year in those closer spreads. So for that reason, and the fact that Miami's banged up, they're banged up in the trenches. They have so many injuries. Tyreek Hill hasn't practiced all week. I don't know if he's probably going to play, but he's not going to be healthy. I think Dallas is a healthier team. I think Dallas is probably a little bit of the hungrier team. I like the Cowboys in a warm weather situation, and I think the Cowboys get it done, finally get a big road win, which they've struggled with all season. Last game, Baltimore and San Francisco. When's this game? I think this is the Christmas Day game. It's the night game, primetime game. San Francisco -4.5, -5, -5.5, depending where you're looking. Keep this short and sweet. Do I want to step in front of San Francisco? They're a freight train. No. But Baltimore in this role they're very good they're very good in an underdog role. And typically when they're an underdog, they're on the road. They just do well in this spot. And Baltimore's been very good on the road. They travel well. They're good in an underdog role. It's a primetime game. These are the top 2 teams in each of their conferences. Baltimore, I'm 100% must feel a bit disrespected with this line. And I don't even think this line is wrong. I have San Francisco as number 1 and Baltimore number 2 in my power rankings. And I have San Francisco 3 points better than the next team. So 3 plus a home field advantage of about 1.5 points. There's your 4.5, 5 points. So I think the line, I think this game is priced well. I don't disagree with that, but I just think the Ravens getting 4.5, 5, 5.5 on a primetime game. It's a huge game for these guys. Potential Super Bowl preview. I think this game is close. I think it's a field goal game either way. I think it comes down to the last drive. I don't want to step in front of San Fran because they've been crushing teams. But I think Baltimore, they have a top 5 defense. I think they can at least contain San Francisco's offense. And San Francisco's defense, the one area where a very good defense can struggle, like San Francisco, I don't think they're the exception to this, is against mobile quarterbacks. And so, although I don't know how Lamar's going to do in the passing game, I think he can at least give that front line of San Francisco some trouble. So, close game. I like the Ravens plus the points. That's it, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, join the Patreon, $10 a month. But these are my free picks for the week. And then next week, we're going back to the regular format. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. And we will see you next week.